What is up, guys? Oh man, after watching the Greenbean Thursday thick of it, had to. I don't know. I was just excited. Wanted to talk some Jets. Wanted to talk Jets stuff, and just I had such a fun time earlier today with the live stream. Did about an hour and 30 minutes on the live stream earlier today. It's not that late, so I thought, you know what? Let me do a live stream here. But yeah, man. Let's talk about it. Jets mess already in here. I'm expecting some people to come in here. I just really wanted to talk Jets, man. I'm excited. I'm I don't know. Like it's the first time in a long time where I look at this team and I go, you know what? Like we're going to be a good successful team, and I'm going to have something that I can cheer for, that I'm going to be able to give a crap about. I want to be able to wear my Jets stuff out. Yeah, I know. I was just in there. Jets mess. I was in there, and like that's why I started the stream. It says it in the title. You know what I mean? I started the stream because like that end there was great. What's good, Rob V? Thanks for stopping by, man. Like I said, I got excited. Sorry, but I'm not sorry, like at all. And yeah. So how's everyone's nights going? Man, Greenbean just did like 3 hours of a live show. And it was just him and what's up, Cameron? It's all good, Jets mess. Um it's exciting times. I had a lot of fun earlier today talking Jet stuff and all of that. So I thought, let's run it back one more time. Let's do a little bit of a live show. Let's see who we can get in here, and let's talk some Jets. Let's talk some things that we haven't talked about. See, it was just a good vibe going, man. Like I loved it. Loved it. It was a great time in there. I love the Greenbean shows because it's just like, it's not like some of the other shows that like the live shows that we get to see, where it seems a little bit like hectic. It's, I don't know. Greenbean is just very like segmented, and it's not very rushed, and it's deep thought about conversation pieces and things like that, and I really appreciate that, man. I'm in that same boat, man. I love my Jets too, and it's just a good time right now to be a Jets fan. There's no other words to describe it or say it or anything. It's a good time to be a Jets fan right now. And I haven't seen that per se. Like, I'm going to go off of what Frankie was saying there at the end about how people were talking about like the Jets are building a super team. I agree, and I think that as well, but I haven't seen that from other people. But like, we got a lot of scary pieces on this team, man, and no team is complete. Like, Eli Apple is starting on the Cincinnati Bengals. You know what I mean? I'm almost positive they'd like another corner. They took one in like the first round. It's just one of those things where you got to think that no team thinks they're complete. Like the Kansas City Chiefs won a Super Bowl with, at the time, the best wide receiver and like the best tight end. And I'm pretty sure in that following draft, they took a wide receiver and a tight end. You always building for the future. It's like that adage that you hear from general managers. You don't draft for what you need now. You draft for a year or two in the future. And that's how you build a team. And I agree, Rob. Greenbean is the GOAT. Like, truthfully, man. The guy works harder than anybody out there. He's just different, man, when it comes to that kind of stuff. And I agree. I think we do deserve that. Like, it's finally time that the Jets, you got to turn it around on the Jets. You got to look at us and you got to say, like, dude, we are changing things up and we are fixing the way that things are going. So very excited for that. Joe Musa, haven't seen you in here before. Thanks for stopping by the stream. If you haven't already hit that sub button, it really, really helps the channel. We broke 200 subs today, but I agree. I can't wait to see Breece Hall this season. I honestly think Breece Hall in our system, offensive rookie of the year. I don't even think that's a hot take. I don't even think that's that far-fetched. I really, really do think that in our system, offensive rookie of the year. I don't see a player on any team that's going to get as much usage from their team. Like in the sense of like, we are a run-first team. We set up the pass through play action. Breece Hall is going to touch the ball a crap ton this year. If he can stay healthy, he's going to have a bigger impact than any of these offensive players taken, any of the wide receivers, anything like that. The only other person that I might have looked at was like maybe these later round wide receivers that are going to these good teams. But outside of like Treylon Burks, who's going to a team where he's going to be the number one wide receiver, no doubt about it, because A.J. Brown is gone, I definitely look at it and go, Breece Hall, offensive rookie of the year. You can make that bet. I'm in Florida. I can't bet on sports. So no teams fan deserve a Super Bowl more than us. I agree, man. It's what Greenbean was saying that guy on the show said. It's hard to be a Jets fan, and I wouldn't want to be a fan of any other sports team. This is the best. Keegan, thanks for stopping by, man. I need Jets fans to get their minds out of the gutter this year, and staff is different. We need to start being positive. Thank you, Keegan. I made a video. You might have seen it on the channel. It was talking about Denzel Mims. It's my best video I've ever made. Thank you, Buffalo Jet fan, for the congrats on the 200. I'm very, very excited, man. Go from one day having 100 to the next day having 200 was a crazy, crazy jump. But I did my Denzel Mims video. It has 3,500 views. This is my biggest video. And I like responding to every single comment. And a lot of the comments were relatively positive. A lot of the comments were like, yeah, man, that's awesome. I want to believe in the Jets, and I want to this in the Jets, and I want to that in the Jets, and I want to whatever with the Jets. And I read the comments, and there's certain comments were like, no, the guy's a bum. He's not going to make it. He looked lost on the field last year. And I was like, guys, that was last year. You're telling me you've never like shown up to work or something like that and been asked to do something entirely new after you've been sick and you've missed 3 weeks and the whole company has changed and you didn't look lost for a little bit after you lost 20 pounds? Like, come on. I'm not trying to make excuses for the guy, right? Because I don't like the excuses game. I'm not a guy who wants to make excuses. But if anybody on the roster last year had excuses for why they didn't perform well, Denzel Mims is the guy. He lost like 20 pounds due to the flu. He got the flu and then he got COVID. It's like, it's one of those things, man, where it's just like, let's just be positive. Can we not just be happy? Our team is being nationally recognized. Outside of one guy, and I'm not saying his name so that people don't follow him, but like outside of one guy who said that we had a bad draft because he wanted us to draft a quarterback in the second round after we took a quarterback at number 2 overall. Ugh, absolute nonsense. It's one of those things where it's just like, can we be happy? We're allowed to be happy. We're allowed to believe in our team. I shouldn't be ridiculed for looking at the schedule that we're about to play, which, by the way, is one of the hardest schedules in the NFL next year. How are we getting hard schedules when we picked number 4 overall? We should be getting one of the easier schedules. It's crazy. But that being said, I think we can take it to every single team that we're playing. Every single team. We should be in every single game. There's no more of these blowouts, no more of any of that. So I'm done with that. Cameron, so hey, did you hear about DJ Reed having a great practice the other day, making all sorts of plays? Man, that's what DJ Reed does. DJ Reed, from a lot of I have a couple of friends who are Seattle Seahawks fans, and the moment that we signed him, I got on call with them, and I was like, I need you to tell me everything that you know about DJ Reed. I need you to tell me what you know, all of that stuff. And my thing that I heard was that when he's on and when he's playing like the DJ Reed that everyone wants him to be, he is killing it. But the problem is that he doesn't consistently play at that level. So there are some games where he's just not on. And in those games, he becomes a little bit more of a liability. But the good thing is that DJ Reed is going to be cornerback number 2. CB2 tends to get the safety help. They tend to be shadowed by the single high safety in our 4-3 with like that cover 3 over the top, right? That's what we tend to see because we're going to put Sauce, I don't want to say on an island, but we're kind of going to put Sauce on an island and we're going to say, hey, cover this guy by yourself because we're going to ask the safety to help DJ Reed. DJ Reed with safety help and Sauce on his own, no one scores any points. Calling it right now. Never again. DJ Reed and LaMarcus Joyner playing as a safety duo together, no one catches them. I thoroughly believe that. I think that truthfully. So, yeah. Sky Moore is a great example, but I don't think Sky Moore. Maybe actually Sky Moore going to Kansas City, he might explode. Maybe win offensive rookie of the year. Yes, we do. Thank you again, Buffalo Jet fan, for stopping by and the kind words. Thank you, Keegan, for watching that video and hitting the sub button. I really do appreciate it. I love how fast the channel's growing and what's going on in here. Corey Davis and Mims going to benefit tremendously from our offseason additions more than anyone. Absolutely. Our big-bodied wide receivers are going to get more one-on-one matchups because you cannot sleep on any of the other weapons, because you can't sleep on any of our tight ends, our slot wide receivers, anybody like that. But yeah, so when you add a big body, especially in the red zone, when you add these 2 big body guys going up for it, like, man, it's good to know that, like, again, we're building kind of a super team. We're really deep at wide receiver. As much as I never liked Jeff Smith and like, I don't want to see those guys on the field, or Tariq Black or DJ Montgomery or anything like that. They weren't that bad. Like when we played them, I don't want them on the team, but like, you understand that now for those guys to hit the field, like 7 people need to go down. And if 7 people go down, we're worried about other things, right? The season's toast because like 7 of our wide receivers went down. And that's why Tariq Black is starting at wide receiver number 1. But we're going to have a lot of really good depth at the wide receiver room. You were recommended by the Buffalo Jet fan. Already subscribed to you earlier today. Great content. Keep it up. I've been a Jets fan since '85. Been suffering a while. Man, I was born in 95, but I was born into a Jets jersey, essentially. So I can't say I've been suffering that long. And there was a few years there at the beginning of my life where the Jets were kind of competitive, right? Like I was able to watch the Vinny years and the ups and downs of the Chad Pennington years and the 2 good years of Mark Sanchez, and then butt fumble, and then horrible. But yeah, thank you for stopping by, Joe, and hitting the sub button and hanging out and talking and all that stuff. Cameron, I don't understand the slander of our players of having constantly been injured, and they're not excuses. It's reality. Those guys' upside is out of the roof. Absolutely. Now, to put a caveat on that, Cameron, just to be a little bit, you have to take into consideration injury history when you talk about upside, because like a guy that has incredible upside and incredibly high ceiling, but never was going to meet up to it because he couldn't stay healthy, was Blake Cashman. The guy could, and he showed that he could be a good linebacker. Like he was okay in coverage. He was good in the run game, but that guy, if a hard wind came from the east, his legs broke. Another guy like that I think has a really high upside if he's asked to do the right job, and I think we're playing him out of position, is Ashton Davis. I don't understand the Ashton Davis hate. I really still like Ashton Davis a lot. And I would like to see him played as a strong safety in the box some more, being part of the run game, things like that. But I agree with you. There's certain things and certain players that get targeted for no reason. The biggest one that comes to mind is Mekhi Becton. The guy in his rookie year looked like a top 10 tackle in the league. His sophomore year, he gets rolled up on by his own guard, and it's his fault that he was out? Dude, he's like 6'8", 380. But like, I just like, my thing is just like, just have hope in your guys. Don't bank on them being the best, right? Don't sit here and say, I'm going to believe in this guy wholeheartedly, but let's at least take a step back and let's at least address this with optimism. These guys were drafted and taken for certain reasons. Like one of the things is like a lot of Titans fans I've been seeing have given up on Caleb Farley. And I was like, dude, like it's 1 year. I understand that he had a career-ending injury his last year in college and he got hurt early in Tennessee. But Caleb Farley was talked about being the best cornerback in last year's draft. If he didn't have the injury concern, he was a top 5 pick. Give it some times. My clock runs out after year 3. If year 3 comes by, you haven't caught up to the speed of the game, you're still looking slow, you're still looking whatever, I'm done with you, and I'm not gonna count on you yet. But like, let's give these guys some times, especially the Adam Gase picks. Like, I don't think people understand how bad Adam Gase was as a head coach. Like, he legitimately might have ruined players. So be optimistic. Like the Jets. Let's support these guys. Yes, our schedule is super hard, Rob V. I did not know that we were the 15th hardest schedule, but it's hard, man. Like, I looked it up and I did a video like a few weeks ago where I was trying to predict the schedule, and it's not an easy thing. We don't have an easy schedule. And like the other thing is like a lot of these games are going to be timing. When we play certain teams is going to matter a lot, because like for me, there's 2 or 3 games, really 3 games, that if we play these games early on in the season, I think we win them out easy. Where later on in the season, I think it's a little bit harder. And those 3 games for me are Cleveland. I think if we can play Cleveland early on in the season while Deshaun Watson is still suspended, I think we win that out purely on the fact of I don't think Baker plays, and they're going to be playing with like a backup quarterback, and a bad backup quarterback. And I think that we win that. And then the other one is Minnesota, because Minnesota is going to be is transitioning their scheme out of what they were playing before and into a Shanahan-esque style system. And we all know that teams take a dip in production in year 1 on that scheme. Now, that team is incredibly talented. And so I think the back half of the year, they're going to get better as time goes on. But that being said, if we play them early, I think we can win. And then the other team that I would like to play early, but if we're going to take what Frankie said as truth, and we're probably going to play them week 11, was Pittsburgh. I would rather play Kenny Pickett, a rookie quarterback that I'm not a big fan of when it comes to the NFL game and his game translating. I would rather play him early on than later, where he has less reps and less time with the team. But I think we can beat Pittsburgh. If it is week 11, I'm going to that game. I'm really excited. I have friends in Pittsburgh. I'm going to go meet up with them. They're Steelers fans, and I'm going to go watch our Jets beat the Steelers. But I looked at our schedule and I go, we got 9 or 10 wins on there. And that's all I want. My realistic expectation is 7 to 9. But if you told me, hey, I'm from the future, I'm coming back to tell you that the Jets won 10 or 11 games, I would believe you. I'd be like, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I could see that. LMFAO, I love that take. I don't know what take that is that I was talking about, but thank you. I appreciate it. Sky Moore to the Chiefs is going to be scary, but there are other wide receivers and other things there. Like, I forgot that they have Juju, and Kelsey's not going to become any less special on that team. What's up, Dark? Thank you for stopping by. I'll get to you in a second. Look, I don't think you need to cover Juju that hard. Juju's a high volume too, and he's coming into this offense and being asked to be a number 1 wide receiver. We saw what that looks like in Pittsburgh, and it's not great. I'm not a Juju hater, but I'm also not like this guy who believes Juju's going to be pulling coverage on his own. Kelsey's going to get the double team, and if you play 2 high safeties, like, I wouldn't double Juju. I would double Sky Moore because he's just freaking fast as crap. This is, I think, regarding the being hurt. I'm not the biggest Ashton fan, but I hope you're right. Again, I'm not saying you have to be an Ashton Davis fan, but let's just believe in the guy. That last part, that's all I want. I just hope he works out. I don't necessarily that's it. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Trevon Wesco. I know he's probably going to be tight end 4, but like, who cares? I hope he works out. I hope he really does. Don't know what that was regarding. Red John, thank you for stopping by to the stream. Haven't seen you here before. If you want, hit that subscribe button. Really, really, really hope that you like the channel and stick around. We hit 200 subscribers today. Very, very excited about all that and what we've been able to accomplish. But let's see what you said. Who would you consider to be a powerhouse in the NFL? I don't think there are any. Everyone on the Jets' schedule is beatable. Okay, let me clarify what I think. When you say powerhouse, what comes to my mind, right? When I think powerhouse, I think those mid 2010 Patriots teams, right? The 17-0 Patriots that lost to Eli, those teams were powerhouses. They were teams that, when you saw them on the schedule, that's it. They were losses. You could consider them easy breezy losses. Now, I don't think that there's a single team in the NFL that I would go in and say 100% that's a loss. We're going to lose this game. There's not one team that I look at our schedule that has that. Now, there are two teams on our schedule that I look at and I say, these are going to be the hardest games that we're going to play this year. And those two teams are Buffalo, because Buffalo for me is the number 1 team in the AFC. I'm not scared of the Titans at all, but I also don't think we play the Titans. Yeah, we don't play the Titans this year. So that's Buffalo, but I definitely think we can take a game off of Buffalo. And then number 2 is Denver. Denver is stacked with talent on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. And those are 2 games that I think we really, really need to come up with our A game. I am hoping that we face one of them after the bye week so that we get an extra week of preparation against those guys. But I'm looking at our schedule and I go, we play Miami twice. I think we can sweep Miami. We play New England twice. I think we can sweep New England twice. Thank you, Red John, for being a sub for a couple of days. I appreciate it. Was it the Denzel Mims video that brought you in? I'm curious. Back to what I was saying. I think we can beat New England twice. Buffalo is a hard outing. I think we split with Buffalo. And then just going down the schedule, I think we can beat Cleveland. I think we can beat, Cleveland doesn't have any wide receivers that I'm scared of. Amari Cooper is not a number 1 wide receiver. I'm happy we didn't trade for him. Green Bay, yeah, you have Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers is throwing to fans that he's pulling out of the stadium that year. Not scared of them. Minnesota is going to be bringing a new offensive scheme, and I've already mentioned it. This offensive scheme takes a dip in production. The Baltimore Ravens don't have a quarterback; they just run wildcat formations all day. So, not scared of that. And I think our run game is going to be greatly improved because our defensive line is going to be greatly improved. Cincinnati, they like to air it out. I am scared of Joe Mixon because Joe Mixon is that dude. But like I said, I'm not worried about our run game anymore. And the thing is you want to get into a scoring competition? Let's get into a scoring competition. Yeah, you've got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, but we got way more than just 2 names. We got Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson, Corey Davis, Braxton Berrios, Denzel Mims, Breece Hall, Michael Carter. Let's go. And we've got a better offensive line. And we've got a better quarterback in my eyes. Joe Burrow's great, but I think that Zach Wilson's ceiling is much higher than Joe Burrow because Zach's got that arm and he's got that special in him. That's it. So I look at that. We can beat them. The Bears are easy. Detroit is easy. Jacksonville is easy. Seattle is easy. And then Pittsburgh, we can beat them. And then the Broncos, like I said, that's a hard outing. There's a lot of games that we can win here. A lot of them. Now, traveling across the country to Seattle is going to be hard. I hope that that's a night game or something like that so that we can be better adjusted to the schedule. But we'll see. Again, it's one of those things where it's just the only teams I'm really worried about Really, that's it. Is Seattle because of the travel, not even because of the team? We know that when teams on the East Coast or the West Coast have to travel across the coast, they don't do great. Man, yeah. The undrafted free agent the Jets picked up, running back DeAndre Torrey, reminds me of Joe Morris. It's possible the Jets can have 3 studs in the backfield this season. I was talking about the undrafted free agents earlier, Joe. And I don't know if any of those running backs make it. Like even Bam Knight. Like I like Bam Knight, and he's the one who's getting a lot of the hype, right, coming out of NC State. But it's like, I got to see it. I got to see it. You went undrafted for a reason, and I'm not going to throw you out the door because Wayne Corbett went undrafted, right? And he's like my favorite Jet of all time. But like, we gotta temper the expectations on the undrafted free agents. These guys are luxuries, and I don't necessarily want to look at them to be contributors. If DeAndre Torrey comes in and can take Tevin Coleman's job and be a stud and be the third head to our 3-headed monster in that backfield, sign me up. I'm not saying that I don't think that he can be that, but I'm not going to put that expectation on him because of his draft position. Breece Hall was taken at the top of the 2nd round, and we were trying to take him in the 1st round. So I'm not going to temper my expectation with him because honestly, I don't think I have to. So that's it. Dark Soldier hopping in. Crew. Our opponent's record is 142, 145, and 1. Yo, can we talk about really quickly how the Steelers tied and kept their above 500 record because of the tie in a game they absolutely should have lost? And Mike Tomlin is still a 500 record. Like the NFL rigged that, right? Because they wanted Mike Tomlin to have an above 500 record for his whole coaching career. Like that's what happened. That was rigged. Dark Soldier, but with many trades, it may be harder than their record. So maybe you are right. Look, you're right. There were a lot of trades that happened, but there are really, really good teams that we're going to play. Like Cincinnati is a really good team. They're built really, really well, and they've added good pieces. And they were us a year ago, right? Like they were the team that went 4-12, and then they went 10-7 and went to the Super Bowl. And I think that we can be Cincinnati this year. I think we can go from being 4-13 to a 10-7 team. But that also does mean that Cincinnati is a year ahead of us in their rebuild, right? We just got Garrett Wilson. He's going into his rookie year. Jamar Chase, who's a better wide receiver than Garrett Wilson, is going into his sophomore year. They drafted Eli Apple's replacement. But like I said, it's one of those things where there's still a lot of good teams. I was talking a lot of smack when I was going down the roster, but like Joe Burrow's that dude. Lamar Jackson, as much as I don't love him as a quarterback and things like that, he's done really, really, really well in that system. Pittsburgh is still coached by Mike Tomlin. And like I said, it's just like they're a well-coached team. Denver has Russell Wilson on it. We've got a lot of challenges there that we're still going to face. But like ultimately to go back to what Red John was saying about powerhouses, I don't think that there's a powerhouse in the NFL. And I think we are as close to being in that parity. The NFL has a lot of parity. At any given week, any team can win that's not named the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans. Any team can beat any other team any given week. Again, unless it's Jacksonville and Houston. I've been a sub for a few days. Thank you, Red John. And it was the Denzel Mims video. Love it. I'm just nervous for any games we play on the West Coast. We never win those. The good thing is we only have one this year. Do you count Denver? Do you count playing at Mile High, a West Coast game? Because if you do, then Denver is the other one. That's it. Everything else is in Eastern or Central. I'll look that up right now. Yeah, it's Seattle and Denver. But I'm not worried about going to Mile High. Actually, we probably should be worried about going to Mile High. I'm in Florida, man. I hear way too much about the Jags. I got to crap on the Jags and the Dolphins. I'm in Central Florida, and all I hear is about the Jags, man, and the Jags this and the Jag that and the Jags this and the Jags that. So it's just like, look, I don't love what the Jags did in this draft. They didn't help their franchise quarterback at all. They didn't address that atrocious offensive line at all. Like, yeah, dude, we're playing Denver 2 years in a row, Jacksonville 2 years in a row. Like, because we played Jacksonville last year. It's crazy. It's crazy. Let's go back up here. Dark, I gave you a shout out before you were even here. He did. Whoa, you got to put some respect on Joe Burrow's name, and I'm a huge Zach fan, but he has to show it first. 100%. Like I said, I was being a little facetious when we were going through the schedule to like just hype up my team because I'm excited. But yeah, man, I love it. I'm excited about this team, and I believe that we've got the right pieces and the right players in place. We beat Cincy last year. We can do it again. And Dark, I don't know if you remember this, but we beat Cincinnati with Hall of Fame quarterback Mike White under center. And I don't know about you guys, but I think that Zach Wilson is a better quarterback than Hall of Fame Mike White. But like I said, Joe is absolutely a great football quarterback. I'm not trying to take anything away from Joe Burrow. It's just I believe in my team more than I believe in Joe Burrow on another team. So screw that guy. He doesn't wear green and white. That guy sucks. It's that Greenbean take, right? If he doesn't wear green and white, that guy sucks. That was me doing that. But Joe Burrow's that guy. But I think we've got a really good chance of beating them 2 years in a row. True, but these aren't going to be lock wins. Nope. I don't think there's outside of Jacksonville, Seattle, Detroit, and Chicago, Miami, and New England. I don't think we have lock-in wins at all. We got to fight for these wins. Of course, Tigo. Of course not. Tigo is just saying it's not an automatic loss for us. That's all. Oh, exactly, Dark. I'm not saying that we don't have a single team on this schedule except for I think one of the Buffalo games. I think you can write it off that we're going to split with them. You can write that off as a loss. I don't think we can beat both of them. But every other team that we play in this schedule, we absolutely should be able to take it to them as long as our team is healthy. Talked about that. We are playing Denver 2 years in a row. I know why a lot of people thought about that because I didn't even realize that video, the Denzel Mims video that I did, I'm wearing my Maple Leafs hoodie. I'm a Maple Leafs fan when it comes to hockey. I love hockey. It's my second favorite sport. And I'm a Maple Leafs fan, and that's a long story, but I also love the Rangers every time they're not playing the Maple Leafs. But yeah, that's a lot of people got confused with that one. But ironically, Red, you're the first person to bring it up. Not a single comment in that video talked about me wearing a Maple Leafs jersey. Nothing. Yeah, Joe, absolutely that guy. Like I said, I agree. He's a beast. I loved him. He was my quarterback too in that draft class. And that was because I really liked Herbert. Herbert was my number one. Now, I will say this. I was wrong. Joe Burrow should have been my number one, and Herbert should have been my number two. But I definitely was wrong on that one. Look, Dark, we'll get there. I'll address that in a second. All the pain and suffering as a Jets fan about to pay off. Yeah, man. It's been years of being ridiculed and mocked and all of this stuff, and it's gonna come to fruition. As long as this team stays healthy, we're gonna be. Here's the great thing, and here's what I can't stop thinking about, is that we're going to be a team that gets talked about on the national media in not a disrespectful way. Like, can you guys imagine that? Like, you know what we're getting with all this, like, you know how like we're getting all this draft coverage and like everyone's saying like, wow, the Jets are with an A+ draft and oh my God, they're killing it. No, like imagine that, but like week 6, week 7, and teams are talking about, oh, are the Jets a top 10 team? They're 5-2 going into week 8. This is unprecedented things from the Jets. They just put up 60 points on the New England Patriots, and they recreated the butt fumble when Mac Jones ran into the back of who did they take in the first round again? Cole Strange, and butt fumbled, and Jermaine Johnson swept it and took it to the house. I'm putting that into the world right now. I want that to happen. If that happens, that's just going to be my new intro from now until the end of time. We can never, like, that Elijah Moore play. I'm going to change the intro. I'm going to put the butt fumble in, like the New England butt fumble. And that's it, man. But yeah, definitely going to come in. This is where I would disagree with you, Matthew. I don't think Joe Burrow is a top 5 QB. I think he's a top 10 QB. I'll give you that one. But top 5, You might be right here. You might be right, but I look at other quarterbacks, like just off the top of my head. I personally like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. Unfortunately, you got to put Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers on there. And then, like, do you really want to put Joe Burrow there at 5? Where, like, do you really think that he's better than your, like, Russell Wilson? That's an argument that you can have. I would put Matthew Stafford at 5. I've been on the Matthew Stafford hype train all of last year. I said, watch, they're going to win the Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford got hated on because he was in Detroit. And when a good quarterback stays in a bad team for a long time, he gets left behind and he gets forgotten. Like Matthew Stafford in year 1 won a Super Bowl. There are quarterbacks that you can go out there and you can argue that are better than Joe Burrow there at 5. So I'll give you top 10. If you change that to top 10, Matthew, I'm on board. But top 5, I'd be hard pressed to say that 100% he's a top 5. I love Herbert. There's a real, I still kind of want to stay by my statement of Herbert's my number 1 quarterback of that class. Dark Soul just kind of right here. Like Xavier Garcia, thank you for stopping by. I don't remember seeing you in the chat before. If you haven't already, hit the sub button. I love having you here. Thank you. Absolutely. We do need to see the last, and it's not just 5 games. I think if you look at its last 10 games, in his last 10 games, he had 5 turnovers. That's a great ratio. So if we can get safe Zach, the last 10 games of the season that he played, all of that stuff, controlling the ball well, because asking a quarterback to throw Deshaun Watson, let's see if he comes back, right? I'm not going to put him on there because he hasn't played football in a year. That guy, we don't know what we're going to see out of him. If he comes back healthy, Red, sorry, because I just saw the comment on the corner of my eye. If he comes back healthy, absolutely. He goes right back to the top 5. Not a top, again, that might be maybe not a top 5, maybe a top 10 quarterback. But I would put him over Herbert. I mean, I would put him over Joe Burrow. So, again, going there. But if we can get safe Zach, and like I put in my video that I uploaded earlier today with his, we just need Zach, 65% completion percentage. We need to drop less balls, and we just need him to be safe. I need him to be Kirk Cousins this year. I need you to get the little things right. Zach was trying to play big game ball. He was trying to Carson Wentz it too much. And that's it, man. I'm just going to say like, I just need you to be safe with the ball. I'm not saying that you need to dink and dunk and do all of that stuff all the way up the field. No, you've got a massive arm and we've got speedsters. Garrett Wilson is going to double move on a corner and be open, and you're going to hit him for a 65-yard bomb, right? But we don't need that 65-yard bomb every play. Let's just be safe. Let's do all that. Red, that is a long story. And I will try to breeze through this story as quickly as possible so that I can keep answering questions and talking about the things. But my parents are immigrants. They are both from Brazil. My dad was born in 1966. Back in the 1970s, Flash Gordon was a really, really, really popular movie. And in that movie, the Jets were the team in that movie. So all he knew about American football was the New York Jets. When he came to America, he went to South Florida. I actually live in Central Florida right now, but he went to South Florida. And when he was there, he worked with 2 guys. And remember, the only thing he knew about American football at the time was the New York Jets. And there was 2 guys at his job. They were 2 Mexicans. And this matters because they were speaking about Miami in Spanish. And my dad knew Spanish, so this wasn't even in English, which I think is the funniest part. And they all worked on a construction site, and they would not stop talking about the Dolphins. And my dad hated it. And one of the things that they always talked about was they used to talk trash about the Jets. It's a rivalry game, right? Well, it comes one weekend, and they're talking all this smack. The Jets are going to lose. We're going to beat the Jets. And the game was in Miami, and they were going to go to the game, and they were going to do all that stuff. And the Jets went to Miami and beat the ever-living crap out of Miami at that time. I don't remember what it was, but the Jets won that game. And so my dad went to work that next day, and he had heard that the Jets had won from other people at work and that these 2 guys were pissed. And on a whim, my dad decided that that day he was going to be a Jets fan, and that day he was going to be like, screw it, I'm going to mess with these guys forever. And that is when my dad became a Jets fan. That was in like the late 80s or something like that. And then 26 years later, or like 34 years later, because I'm 26, he didn't marry my mom until she was like in the like 93 or something. But whatever, a couple years later, here I am. I'm a Jets fan. I did live in New Jersey for a little bit because I was born in South Florida. And so we lived in New Jersey for a long time, and I was really able to like, that's where I developed my love for the Jets was then, but that's kind of the story of why I'm a Jets fan. My dad chose the team out to spite two Miami Dolphins fans, and here I am 26 miserable years later. Kelvin Tanner Jr. What a last names, Kelvin. Haven't seen you here before. If you haven't, hit the subscribe button. Love having you here. A healthy O-line is the key to this season. Absolutely agree. There is nothing more nothing matters more than a healthy offensive line. You're absolutely correct. If we can play our 5 starters the whole year, let's do it. Matthew with the F the Rangers. I can get it. Now I have to like the Rangers. You have lightning noisemakers behind you. Okay, look, I'm a Leafs fan. The Leafs came to play the Lightning. I'm in Orlando. We went to the game. They gave us the noisemakers, and I used the Gold Bolts noisemakers against them in their home. We put up 7 on them or 8 on them. It was a great time. Cameron, I love Zach Wilson. He has no ceiling for his potential generational arm talent. Yeah, man, he's got a crazy arm, and he's just got to take advantage of it more. Hawk in the house for the first time, I think. I'm excited. Welcome, Hawk. First thing I've ever heard on the channel was that reverse butt fumble thing. Haha, what's up, Teagle Soldier boys? What's up, Hawk? Welcome in. If Deshaun played like he played 2 years ago, 100%, he probably goes into the top 5. But we got to see it, right? He missed a year, so I'm not going to give a guy a ranking if I haven't seen him in a year. Yes, Burrow at 5 because Burrow over Wilson, Stafford, Herbert, and any others. I don't care. Again, I can respect the take. Like everybody's take is different, right? But I can respect that you have Burrow at 5. But I'm gonna respectfully disagree. Cameron, it's only 1, maybe 2 that have the arm talent that Zach Wilson has in today's game. I think there's 3 guys in the NFL right now that have Zach Wilson's arm talent and that he's got to kind of mimic his game around. Number 1 is Aaron Rodgers. He's the OG cannon of an arm. Number 2 is Patrick Mahomes. And number 3 is Josh Allen. That is my expectation of what we can expect if Zach Wilson does hit his ceiling. And it's not that shabby that those guys are all considered, top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. So Herbert is a beast. We talked about Watson. See, somebody agrees with me. Burrow isn't the top 5 for me either. See, look again, but I can respect him being in the top 5. I can respect that a lot. I get it. I'm going to record what you said. Dark Soldier is right and use it as my voicemail. Here's one, right? Hey, caller. Thanks for calling Dark Soldier. This is Tigo, and I just wanted to say that Dark Soldier once was right on my stream. And this is his new voicemail. You know what to do. Leave him a message after the beep. There you go, Dark. You can go back. You can cut that up. That's for you, my good buddy. Flash, yep. My dad talks about it all the time. Flash Gordon, and now he's a Jets fan for life, and now we suffer. JW, thank you for stopping by the channel. Haven't seen you in here before. Like I said to everybody new in the channel, if you haven't already, hit the sub button. Really appreciate the people that do. We just need Zach to play within the offense. Stop playing hero ball. Take your shots when the defense allows. We have the weapons to be big-time playmakers. Absolutely. And, Red, I just saw your comment. We're in sync because I was literally about to mention that. Not only do we just need him to play within the offense, but I want to see him use his legs more. The guy's an athlete. Now, I don't want to see him taking unreasonable hits or anything like that because we're not taking unnecessary hits. But look at what he did on Jacksonville. Let's be safe here. Look at what the Ravens were able to do with a quarterback that has a pool noodle for an arm. Now, Zach Wilson is not as good or as athletic. Bye, Dark. Have a good night. Just saw that. Have a good one. Thanks again on the congrats on the 200. I'm super excited. Now we're marching off to 300. Rob, I will answer that question in a second when I get to it. But he just needs to play within the offense. Don't Carson Wentz it. No hero ball. I agree with you. The teams and the plays will develop themselves, and you will get the big plays because of the run game and the production that will come in there. You hand the ball off to Breece Hall enough times where teams are going to have to respect them. Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore will be 20 yards down the field wide open because those guys create separation in their sleep. And with your arm, you'll hit them in stride 65 yards down the field. I stand by it. Thank you. That's my dad's story. I'm in Jersey. Yeah, I used to live in Jersey. I lived in Jersey for like 9 years. And then I lived in New York for like a year and a half on a lacrosse scholarship. And we lived right there in North Jersey. So we were in the city all the time. And we lived in like that Newark, Kearney, Harrison area, that northern New Jersey part of town. So yeah. Hawk, did you see the interview with Fireman Ed? Do you think Bill Belichick hurt Zach on purpose or put a bounty on him? I have not seen that interview. I'm going to have to go look that up. And I don't think Bill would. And the main reason I say that is there was no need to really for that. I wouldn't say that like he didn't do it, but my thing is like, why would he do it? Outside of the answer of just like, oh, because it's the Jets, because you can say that about any team. It's like, oh, because it's this guy and Bill hates this team. I don't know if he really would put out a hit or whatever, or a bounty on Zach and getting him out of the game. But I wouldn't put it beyond Bill Belichick. I hate that guy, just like every other Jets fan. So, yeah, Red, I would like to see Zach run just a little bit more. Like I said, I agree, man. That's it. Rob V, so you have no connections to New York at all other than the movie? Like I said, when I was 3, my parents moved to New Jersey. And we lived there until I was about like 10. But other than that, yeah, no. I got family in New Jersey still. Like I got family in the Elizabeth area and in, I think it's called Union. I don't know where they live. But I still got friends out there, and like my wife has family up in Jersey too, and all of that stuff. But really, like there's no history. Like I'm a first generation American. Like my parents were both immigrants. Like they're both American now, but like they were both born in Brazil. So outside of the 8-ish years that we lived in New Jersey, they're in all Union County. Thank you. Boom. There it is. Outside of like in all realistic possibility, I should probably be a Miami Dolphins fan. I was born in Fort Lauderdale, but thank God I'm not, because I couldn't imagine being a Dolphins fan. That sounds horrible. I'd rather be a fan of a bad team and all that stuff. But yeah, I think our running game is going to be so much better this year that Zach is going to be throwing to wide open receivers. Yeah, man. When we have to take into consideration that last year our running game wasn't that bad, right? It wasn't great, but it wasn't that bad. On paper, if you increase everybody's workload to what the Najee Harris ran, Michael Carter was the most effective running back in the NFL. He just didn't get as much of a workload as Najee Harris because they don't have another running back in Pittsburgh. So if you do that, and you got to take into consideration that Michael Carter got hurt. He wasn't healthy the whole year. So there's a lot of stuff there that are going to do that. We've added a lot of depth. We've brought in a couple of undrafted free agents that I really like to this running back room. There's a lot of good players that can do and be productive in this offense. And so it's one of those things like that you look at and you go, play action is going to set up these receivers. And it's not just like Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore. I keep bringing those two guys up because they're my favorite of the two receivers. But that being said, when you look at the like Corey Davis is going to benefit from it. Braxton Berrios is going to benefit from it. Denzel Mims is going to benefit from it. CJ Uzama, Tyler Conklin, Jeremy Ruckert, like all of the pass catching people are going to benefit from a run game that's dominant behind this offensive line. So yeah, that's awesome. Dude, it's a small world. And New Jersey's like this big, right? Like you can get through New Jersey on the time it would take me to get to Jacksonville. So thank you for that. It is Union County. That is where they are up there. JW. I also feel that Corey Davis will be good this year. Breece Hall will be our Le'Veon Bell, and Moore and Wilson will be very dangerous receiver duo. I agree. I expect big things out of Corey Davis this year. I would like to see him a little bit more healthy, and I really, really would like to see him work on them concentration drops. I want to see them not drop. I want to see him not drop the ball as much. That's what I'm saying. We had the most drops out of any team last year in the NFL. We need to fix that. We do absolutely need to fix that. So that's really it. I think all of our wide receivers are going to, I was talking about this with Nick, or I don't remember who I was talking about this with. Man, I've been doing so many live shows recently. I love it. I was talking about this with somebody. But I think instead of seeing one receiver with like 1,000, 1,200 yards, 1,500 yards or anything, I think we're going to see a lot of our receivers have over 700 yards. I think we're going to see like an 800-yard season out of Garrett Wilson, a 800-yard season out of Elijah Moore, a 750-yard season out of Corey Davis, a 500 or 600-yard season out of Braxton Berrios, a 400-yard season out of Denzel Mims, a 400 season out of CJ and Tyler and Jeremy. And I really look at our team, and I really think we're going to spread the ball around a lot to our wide receivers. And so I don't think we're really going to have a one wide receiver that's going to eat all that much. I think everybody's going to eat, and we're going to see a team that has a lot of really, really good receiving numbers by our guys. And you even got to take the running backs into that, like the quick little screen pass to a running back or the whatever it is. So lots of receivers with a lot of stuff. Hawk, let's talk Jets. Tyson did the interview with Fireman Ed. I highly recommend it. Gonna have to go look that up, definitely. That sounded really sarcastic. I wasn't actually trying to be sarcastic, Hawk. I was being dead ass. I'm gonna go listen to that. Cameron, as far as mobility and QB play style, I can say that Zach Wilson's most accurate comparison in the league today is none other than Pat Mahomes. He may not have reached that production level yet, but I have no doubt. I agree. I think I actually would like to say that his best comp would probably be Josh Allen, just because I don't like comparing people to Patrick Mahomes. That's really it. Patrick Mahomes is different in my eyes, and I think he has a very, very similar arm to Josh Allen. He's got that big arm. Josh Allen is sneaky athletic. Josh Allen just looks a little bit bigger. I don't actually know how tall Josh Allen is. Somebody could look that up and tell me, is Josh Allen actually bigger than Zach? Because Zach is 6'2". Is Josh Allen bigger? Is like, I think what Josh Allen, like 6'3"? Not sure, but yeah. Matthew, my best friend is a Fins fan. I'm happy I'm not, and I'm from New York. Tell me about it, dude. I live here in Florida, and like until Tom Brady came to Tampa, Josh is 6'5". Jesus, never mind. I take that back. Josh is a big dude. Damn, he's actually 6'5". I was so off. I swear to God, I thought he was 6'3". I believe that with my whole heart. Damn, he's 6'5". I get it. He looks huge on screen. That explains it. 6'5" is a big boy. Back to this. I've been living in Florida for like I said, for a long time. And man, Florida's been miserable. Jacksonville was horrible, like outside of that Saxonville year, right, that they had. Tampa's been atrocious, but Tom Brady showed up, obviously. Yeah, man. Miami's been atrocious for years. I'm happy I'm a Jets fan. I love it. Bunny Bounce, thank you for stopping by the live stream. I think you commented on my Denzel Mims video, and I think I commented back. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you. Brandon Eccles. I like Brandon Eccles a lot. I was talking about this earlier in today's stream about Jets Talk 24/7 was talking about how he thinks Bryce Hall is being brought in to compete with DJ Reed. And I don't actually think that. I think Bryce Hall and Brandon Eccles are going to compete for that CB3 spot. And I like Brandon Eccles. He has a lot of upside. And I think that in 3 years, when his contract is up and Brandon Eccles' contract is up, Brandon Eccles doesn't get re-signed. I'm sorry, Bryce Hall doesn't get re-signed because of Brandon Eccles. I really like his potential, but he definitely needs work. And the fact that we got him in the 6th round, I'm not mad at it. I like the fact that we're finding quality players deep. JW, also the defense being much improved will give Zach Wilson a shorter field to work with. Unless we're playing Buffalo because Buffalo got punt God. So it doesn't matter where we stop Buffalo. Punt God's going to put it on our 1 yard line because that's what he does. That's what he does. But absolutely. And my thing is it's the time of possession. That's the stat that matters, is time of possession. Like, look at not the New England game, the Philadelphia Eagles game. Zach didn't touch the ball in the third quarter. We were really good at getting teams into third down situations last year, but we couldn't stop a third down at all. At all. So, yeah, I agree with that. Defense being much improved is going to get the ball in Zach's hands more touches for our running backs, our wide receivers, more touchdowns, more field goals, all of that stuff. I don't know what this is referencing, Rob V, but yeah, cool. I'll answer questions. Corey is our big body DK-like wide receiver. He needs to play tough and stay healthy. I agree. And the other thing is like we have to remember that we also have Denzel. Denzel looks ripped. I don't know if you've seen it, but go look up his thing. Go look up his Instagram. Man, that guy looks jacked and healthy now. Denzel Mims healthy. They're both 6'3". Man, I think Mims, this is my super optimist here, right? I'm going to put my everything, nobody gets hurt, everybody hits their ceiling cap on, my unrealistic Jets fat cap on, and Denzel Mims could, I think, truly provide the level of production and the level of play that DK does if he puts his stuff together. I know that that's a big ask. There's a reason I put on my unrealistic Jets hat on. But the guy can produce, man. He's got the speed. He's got the strength. He's got the size. Now he's just got to put it all together. I love Denzel Mims, and I really think that this general manager, this front office is going to take serious consideration that Denzel Mims, like if Denzel Mims produces at a high level, I'm telling you, man, we're going to have a second thoughts about keeping Corey Davis, even though he's on a really, 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 really team-friendly contract. Because at $13 million, especially in this wide receiver market, you're going to look at that and you're going to be like, yeah, but we got Mims and we need a new center and or whatever it is. I'm just saying there's a lot of things that we could do with that money. I like it a lot. Red, where do you think the Jets are weak so far, if anywhere? For me, I think that there's one position on this team that we're truly weak on. And I think that's interior defensive line. And the reason I say that is not because of anything other than we have a lot of pass rushing guys on the interior of the defensive line, but we don't have our Foley anymore. And we haven't gone out and found a replacement Foley at all. And so for me, I look at the interior of our defensive line and I go, we got a lot of really good pass rushing guys, but I'm really worried about the run game and just putting that big body there in the middle of the field and what that looks like. I can truthfully say that I feel relatively comfortable with every other position group on the field because of the positional versatility. And I'll address what Hawk said in a second. And why I don't think free safety is a problem. And I get it, guys. I was wrong. Josh Allen is huge. Gosh, no, I'm kidding. Thank you for saying this and letting me know. I still can't believe Josh Allen is 6'5", my guys. That's crazy. Free safety is the only real hole I'm concerned about. How do you feel about the free safety room? Here's my thing. LaMarcus Joyner being brought on a one-year deal, I'm okay with that. I like LaMarcus Joyner, and I think that he can still provide at a high level. We also have to remember that we have a lot of people that are listed as cornerbacks in our room that played safety, and we got a lot of people that are linebackers in our room that played safety. And we have Jordan Whitehead. And even though we've all been talking about Jordan Whitehead being brought in to play as a box safety, he's not a snob or like a bad player when he's asked to play in coverage. We can always bump Jordan Whitehead out to free safety and play Ashton Davis in the box more. That's what I like Ashton Davis in. Jason Pinnock, when asked to play as a safety, played well. Elijah Riley, Will Parks, they can all play the safety position. And we may not have like a one player who's going to be our free safety and that's the one guy, but we can have a rotation of guys in there. And let's not forget that Hamza and Sherwood were both safeties in college that we transitioned into the linebacker room. That being said, keep them in the linebacking room, because you know who else can play safety? DJ Reed. I don't know if you guys remembered this, but when I got my ESPN notification, New York Jets signed DJ Reed from Seattle Seahawks, it didn't say cornerback for me. It said safety. And then we have Michael Carter II. He played safety at Duke as well. We've got Brandon Eccles and Bryce Hall. They can maybe transition to the safety and help with that cover in that zone back there. Javelin Guidry. So my thing is we've got so many guys in that defensive back room that we can move around that, again, I'm not saying that free safety isn't a position that I would like to address. I advocated for Honey Badger. I thought that would be a great addition before he signed with New Orleans. But that being said, it's not a position that I look at and I go, I'm 100% scared of this guy or I'm scared of this position when he's on the field. I think that we have people that can definitely play at a relatively okay level. And the real thing that I feel comfortable with is safeties aren't going to be as important because our corners are going to shut people down. I have that much faith in Ahmad Gardner and DJ Reed that I look at that safety pair and I go, it's okay if one of the two safeties isn't the best in the world. So that's my take. Chidi Took, is it Took? I hope I pronounced that right. Zach is Zach. More like a cross between Mahomes and Russell Wilson. That's a great one. That's it. I'm going to take that one, Chitty. I'm going to delete this part of the live stream, and I'm going to pretend like I said that because that's a really, really, really good take. A really good take. I can see that, but Josh Allen is a much bigger QB, so he's more of a fit for those bigger hits. Zach Wilson is not more so like Patty. I agree. Yeah, I can see it. I just don't like comparing people to Patrick Mahomes because he's Patrick Mahomes, right? It's like I don't like people comparing to Tom Brady because it's Tom Brady. I also think Mims will win that wide receiver spot 4. We'll have to see. I know this coaching staff really, really likes Berrios, but I definitely think that he can step up and get up into that spot. You heard it from me first. Mim might replace Davis on the future. Hey, JW, I put that in a Denzel Mims video the other day, and I agree with you entirely. I think Mims is the Davis replacement, 100%. Hawk, I agree on Mims. I think he has all the tools to be a problem for cornerbacks. Absolutely, man. He's strong. He's big. He's fast. It's hard. You can't teach those things. Right? You can't teach that combination of size, speed, and athleticism. He's just got to get it right. What's up, Jets Fan United? Thanks for stopping by, my good sir. What's going on? Matthew Smith, to me, our holes are linebacker and safety. But if those are our only holes, I'm fine with it. Ashton Davis is going into his 3rd year and has the attributes to contribute to this team. Exactly, Matthew. I like Ashton Davis a lot, and I think he has the potential. This is the last year that I'm giving him. Like I said earlier, you got 3 years for me. In 3 years, if you can't produce and if you can't get to that high level, man, I'm done with you. I'm going to move on from you. But I'm going to give you 3 years where I'm going to support you, believe in you, and all of those things. You got 3 years to prove me wrong. And I think you got I also like to give all of the Adam Gase guys a pass because, man, what were we doing? We transitioned from a 3-4 to a 4-3, right? And when we got Salah and Ulbrich, we got a new zone blocking scheme and all these things. Guys, it's a difficult look at statistics. You don't have to take my word for it. Look at statistical seasons of production from one year to the next when teams introduce the Shanahan style of the West Coast offense. Every single time that team took a dip in production and the following year took a massive leap forward. Every year. They got about 80 extra yards a game going from year 1 to year 2. 80 extra yards a game is a massive number. That puts Zach at again, like I said, it's crazy numbers. It's crazy production. So, boom. Rob V. I don't feel comfortable with Whitehead as a free safety, though. He's too short for that, in my opinion. Look, I don't think when you're playing free safety, I don't think your size matters that much anymore, if I'm being honest. Because you're playing with you're facing the quarterback. So most of the time as a free safety, when you're playing over the top of a guy, you're coming down and making a play on the ball, not the person. So even though Jordan Whitehead is short at 5'10", And I'm not saying I want him at free safety. I'm just saying he could play free safety. If we wanted to play Ashton in a role that was more suited to his style, which I think Ashton is a better strong safety than he is free safety, we could do that. We could play Jordan outside. But LaMarcus Joyner is fine in coverage, and it's just sad that we missed him for a year. That's really what happened. You just missed him out. We missed out on him for a year. I want Whitehead doing what Whitehead does. Joyner will be fine being the ball hawk till we get one through cuts or next year. Exactly. And the thing is don't sleep on our safety room. Don't sleep on our safety room at all. Cameron, a lot of versatility in our secondary, not worried at all. Exactly. We got a lot of versatility on the team entirely. We have defensive ends that can play defensive tackles that can play defensive ends that can play linebackers that can play corners and safeties that can play linebackers, all of that stuff. We got so much versatility on that defense that, like, I don't care what people are listed at because, like, we can just play ball. The Jets could literally go, here's the best 7 defensive backs that we can put on the field, and we would have a stud lineup, in my opinion. Now, I wouldn't do that, play people to their positions, right? But that's it. Already said hi to Jets fan. Thank you for stopping by. Cameron, I wasn't comparing Zach Wilson to the productions of Mahomes. I was talking more about his play style. That's it. And that's all that's all. You're totally right. There is only one Patty. Yeah, like I said, I'm just not a guy who likes comparing to the all-time greats. I'm not saying Patty's an all-time great. Patty has the potential to be an all-time great, but that's my thing. But you're right. His play style looks and feels and is very Patrick Mahomesian, right? So that's that. Yeah, but you're covering tight ends and trying to bat balls down from receivers. Yeah, but look, you're right. But that's not necessarily the free safety's job. That's the strong safety's job. Coming down to the box and playing those tight ends. The free safety is there to help over the top for the receivers, not necessarily the tight end. And realistically, we would, in our scheme, would want one of the linebackers. Like, you would want CJ taking that tight end in that zone or whatever it is. You would want him carrying the linebacker up. And that's why I think we play CJ as an off-the-ball linebacker instead of playing him at the mic, like we play him at the will for that reason. Because we don't play with the Sam linebacker really. We play with a third corner. We play with a slot corner. So yeah. Alrighty, guys. I've been going for about an hour. I had a lot of fun. I love doing this stuff. Live streams are fun. Thank you, everybody who stopped by the stream. Thank you, everybody who hit the like button on the video. I appreciate you greatly. We are all the way up to 221 subscribers. It's crazy, guys. Can't believe it happened that quickly. Last one here. That's why Salah and Ulbrich love the safety combo linebackers in this defense to cover those tight ends in the seam and out of the flat. Exactly. You have your Hamzas and your Sherwoods to carry those guys and cover those guys because they're huge. Hamza, how tall is Hamza? Hamza and Sherwood. Hamza is 6'3". Dang, he's a big boy. And Sherwood is 6'2". So big dudes coming in. Peace. Red John, Cameron, nice talking to you, Tigo. Hope to see you soon. Have a good night. Yeah, man, I'm trying to figure out a schedule with this streaming thing. So I should have a video next week detailing a better schedule of content and when I'm going to drop regular videos and regular things like that. Good night, Keegan. Thank you, Rob. To answer this last thing, we couldn't cover anyone in the flats last year. Yeah, you're not wrong, but we were also hurt last year, incredibly. We didn't see much of Hamza and Sherwood. They were hurt last year. We were playing Quincy a lot last year, and as much as I love Quincy is a 2-down back. You want him in the run game, not in the coverage game. And so when we saw him in coverage, it wasn't great. I hope he takes that step because I really like Quincy. I like him a lot, but yeah. Alrighty, guys, I'm going to end the stream here. Again, thank you, everybody, for stopping by. I can't imagine... have a good one, Matthew. I can't imagine. I can't even begin to describe. I'm at a loss for words. And if you guys have been watching me for a little bit, I don't really get at a loss for words. But I released my thank you 100 subscribers video yesterday, and we're already at 220 and slowly marching to 300. I got to figure out something to do as a giveaway for like 250 and off that stuff. But I'm going to end it there, guys. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. If you haven't already, hit the like button. Leave a comment if you're watching this on the rerun. I love talking to you guys. Follow me on Twitter. I'm out there. My Twitter is YTGO, WHYTIGO. Love talking to you guys. DM me. Do those things. It's great. You guys have a good night. And go Jets.